So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to kind of get used to how the inks work. And we're going to do the drips and the drops and kind of make a flower. We're looking at to do something very similar to this right here. And how this is done is we're going to just drop 3 colors on the piece of paper. So pick 3 colors. They should be kind of fairly harmonious together. I'm going to probably go with the wild plum, the stream, if I can find a stream. How can I be without a stream? Oh no. Wild plum and stream. And I will do a light, it's a lemonade. One thing that I haven't talked about yet is there's different kinds of, all of the Ranger inks are in 3 different categories. There's earth tones, there are brights, and there are lights. And it's usually a good idea. The earth tones tend to be more toward the gray. The brights are very bright, kind of almost primary colors. And the lights will give you a lighter passage. It's sometimes difficult to get your values because if you don't use the lights, everything is so intense. It kind of ends up being one medium color, and it's hard to get values. So a lot of times when I'm doing something like this, I'll use one of the lights, or like if you're using the citrus over there, the citrus is a nice light, one of the lighter colors of the brights.
So the
citrus
the
is,
lettuce is a little darker.
the lettuce is a little darker.
I have citrus if anybody needs to
Okay,
share.
I need a green.
Okay, so we got citrus, and that's a bright.
Mm-hmm.
I have a sweet orange. Sunset orange is a bright.
Sunset orange is a bright.
And then I've got a raspberry that's a
And
bright.
that's a
Too
bright.
much, too many brights.
No, that'll be a very nice bright
Okay.
one. I've got the stream, which for some reason they think the stream is an earth tone, and I don't. But I've got the wild plum, which is an earth tone, and I've got the lemonade. So mine's going to be more subdued. Yours is going to be more Mardi Gras. But it'll be pretty. So anyway, and we lost somebody. So what we're going to do,
It's a wild crew.
it's a wild crew. Okay, you should have straws that you can blow through there. So you don't have to blow, but sometimes it's fun.
I want to blow it. Do we clean
Gotta
this off
blow.
first?
Huh? Yeah. So the first thing we do is we're going to take a little bit of the alcohol that everybody should have in a container, and we're going to clean off our piece of paper. Okay.
Take the top off this?
Take the top off.
No. Do you have?
It works.
Yeah. Okay. Is yours not coming out?
It's coming out.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Some of them might have a little pin in them.
Yeah.
If you have a little pin, take the pin out.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Either side of the Yupo?
Just one at a time. So you do just one.
Okay. What are you missing up at the top? Just colors or?
Are both sides of the Yupo the same?
Both sides of the Yupo are the same, yeah. So you just want to, are you looking for any specific colors up there?
She doesn't want you to use yours because you'll get them all confused. Okay.
So
Say yours.
what colors are you looking for up there?
I'm not sure.
The problem was when you use yours, if you get them all confused, then
Okay.
it's like
All right.
crazy making
Okay.
time. Okay? But, so what I'm using for my first one is I'm just going to, and the first thing I'm going to do is, as you see, I'm just going to put 3 drops of the wild plum in. And then I can take my straw, and if I want, I can blow it out. And what we're doing with this, the whole idea of this project is just to kind of
Right, it
see,
does swell.
it does swell. See how they work. I mean, you can just watch them. You don't have to blow them. You can just watch it just kind of grow on your paper. A lot of times,
Oh, great.
I'll just put, like now I put 3 more drops of the blue, and I can put a drop of the alcohol in, and then I could pick it up. Like right now, I'm going to end up having it move around by picking it up. And then I'm going to So I just want to cover the paper here with some dots and drips.
Mine dried up almost instantly.
Well, when you blow it, it'll dry immediately. So you can either do one of two things. You can put more alcohol in the middle of it and blow on that. Or you can just start putting some more colors
And
down.
now do 3 more drops?
Do 3 more drops.
Or you
of
do 1
different
drop
color.
at a time
You can do 1 drop at a time.
and then blow.
You don't have to do as many crazy drops as I do. You can put a drop of a color in another color, like I have a yellow here, and I'll put a drop of the red in that, and I make a 3rd color. Or I can put it in another place. I don't have to keep them being round. I can do whatever. It's actually just kind of fun to just drip and drop a little bit. The idea is to make a pleasing bunch of colors. Now, you don't want it 2 different colors on it, and you don't want to put too much paint on it, because really you need some lights in there. So after we get it mostly covered, kind of like where mine is, I'm going to start putting more alcohol in here rather than colors themselves. And try not to spit through your brush. When you spit through your brush, you get these interesting little textures and you're going, where did that come from? So I can use my little bottle here and put 1 drop of alcohol in the center of some of these, and you'll see that that makes it almost look like there's a blooming center. This little problem I have over here is I spit. I can tell you, I had a spitting issue here, so I'm going to pull some of that spit off and just put a little bit of alcohol on it. So I'm going to get up and kind of walk around and see what you guys are doing. Looks like chocolate.
No, it's strong.
Yeah. And blow out, not in, please. Ooh, nice. This is reminding me of Hysteria a little bit. I like it. Now, what you might want to try to do, if you lay that down, and you put a little drop of plain alcohol in there, just 1 drop, in the very center of that, and then blow and see what happens.
I'd like to have this
See,
on a
what it's going to
turntable.
do is
Yeah.
it's going to end up giving you some lighter transitions. See
What
how
happened here?
yeah, see how it gets lighter? So how you can get some lighter transitions is to use the alcohol. So
Just
once
drip
you
it
get, yeah, just drip it in. Once you get the first layers down, then you're going to play with it with the alcohol. And then I usually kind of take a pause and kind of see what I see in it or what I think it looks like. Some of them become underwater scenes for me. Some of them become flowers. Some of them just become kind of abstracts. Yours has a nice rhythm happening to it. Nice colors. I like your circles a lot in that. I would agree. Maybe even think of continuing
no,
to try to
I'll have to
Does
see.
anybody have green circles?
I've got lettuce and I've got citrus.
So if you're trying to, let's say you don't want the really, really big circle, you want a smaller circle, everybody should have a small brush somewhere. If you take your brush and you make sure it's perfectly clean, and then you take just a little bit of alcohol, you can make very tiny circles. Look, see if I touch this right to the paper, see how that makes a much smaller circle? So if I'm trying to vary the size of my circles, sometimes I do it by varying the amount of alcohol I put on the piece. For mine, I think I need to get some, I don't know. I'm unsure yet on mine. I'm going to make some kind of leaves coming out or petals coming out for mine by using just alcohol and a little bit of the, another thing you have to watch out is if your paper isn't flat, it doesn't always go in the right direction all the time. My paper was going downhill, so I had a little challenge happening here.
And you're using your brush to spread the color?
I'm using my brush actually to either spread or pull out color. I don't put a whole lot of alcohol in the brush. It's just kind of slightly wet. So here, like right now, I'm going to pull out some of the yellow. From here, I'm pulling it out and spreading it. Now it's going to come into this blue, so I can kind of pull out, and then maybe I'll just bring that blue back, kind of just using it to explore what's happening in here. Here I'm going to pull out some color. I'm varying the, I guess the best thing I can call it is we're varying the tone of any given color. I mean, sometimes I can just do like little circles. It's all that needs. Sometimes I do petals like leaves. Sometimes I want to get rid of one of the dark lines. Like here I've got a kind of a dark line happening. I wanted to get rid of that. Huh?
I wish I had a turntable.
You know, I've seen somebody do it where they did spin art with this. I thought that was really kind of cool. So it's just kind of going back and forth, just playing, whatever. And you don't have to have anything necessarily even representational. It can just kind of morph or create as you're going here. I'm kind of just creating as I go. Another thing that you can do if you want smaller colors is here I'm going to take a little bit of the wild plum and I'm going to put it on fairly dry, and I'm going to just sprinkle it on like this. And it gives me more texture and gives me more in the way of color. Okay, mine's getting pretty much done. Yeah, dip the brush in the alcohol, pull it out, don't swirl it around, dip it in the alcohol, pull it out, and you have your paper underneath, and wipe it on the paper. Dip it back in the alcohol and wipe it again. If it's being too obnoxious, wipe it on your, everybody should have a piece of paper towel. Wipe it on the paper towel. So that will clean out the brush. You do have to clean the brush out if you're trying to make anything look
Cool.
okay.
I'm happy.
Okay, then yeah, stop when you're happy. Now we will use the our white pens to kind of get the rest of the details off later. We can't do the white right away because especially the reds are very difficult to, they don't dry very well and they clog up the white.